good morning, good morning. We're back. Did you miss us? Season 2 with the fellas, live from the cave, the morning roast. Thought you're gonna get rid of us, but no, here we are. You guys look so nice.
Welcome back.
You dressed up. You dressed up for the premiere.
You know, these just my pajamas. I don't know
your pajamas. Yeah. Those
red carpet.
Those are some fancy pajamas,
well,
Mr.
they
Roberson.
said to look youthful, so that's why I didn't wear a tie.
Is it?
But
I don't know how that equates to youthful.
I hope y'all enjoy church though, because y'all look like 3 pastors.
Amen.
That's pretty good.
Welcome
That's pretty
back.
good. Yeah,
Welcome
man.
back, family.
Thank you guys so much for your support of last season, and that made it possible for us to be back and do this again for you. Give you a second season. To my left, the Renaissance man, Glenn Murray. To his left, the multi-lane entrepreneur, my frat brother, good new Mel Roberson, and then the lover of life, the one and only Robert Hazard. I'm Sean Mason, your conversationalist and host.
Conversationalist.
What I've been called.
I was going to call you Reverend because all 3 of you look like pastors in these ties and these suits.
I love the Lord. You hear my cry. Hey man, we got a lot to get into, of course. I've been seeing a lot of videos about the dinner atmosphere, and when men are at dinner, primarily with ladies, their responsibility to pay for the entire group. Sometimes it might be because his wife or girlfriend is one of the ladies, but it seems like the minute a man sits down at dinner, then all of a sudden the bill becomes his responsibility. Have you guys seen or experienced that at all? I hope you haven't experienced it, but Robert,
I'm pretty sure Robert has experienced it.
You're right. He's experienced more than all of us.
I've been in that situation, but it was pre-planned that if you're inviting your party, that I'm going to take up some of the slack on that bill, not everything.
Mm-hmm. So you were prepared for some of the responsibility. You'd never been thrown into a situation where suddenly everybody was looking at you.
No,
and solely based on the fact that you're the only guy.
Yeah, that's not been my experience. Thank God.
Mel, you strike me like somebody that would tell them y'all can all be hungry.
Well, I mean, depending on the situation, right? So there have been times when I'm out with friends and they're ladies, and I pick up the bill for everybody because I'm generous and I need the tax write-off. But outside of that, so I saw this post. I don't remember which social media platform it was, but this young lady was going to dinner. She told her guy to come with them, the whole group. There's about 20 of them. The birthday girl was there. He sat down and he was just peeping the scene, and everybody was ordering all types of stuff, right? So on his way to the bathroom, he was told the waiter, let me just take care of us real quick. And when he sat back down and the waiter brought the bill, everybody was looking at him and he was like, I've already paid for ours. And everybody started going off. So in a situation like that, I would gladly say, this is what I ate. And as a gentleman, I might pick up the birthday girl's tab, right? But outside of that, man, if I ain't taking all y'all home, and I don't mean that, you know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? Like, if this isn't a date,
pre-marriage meal.
Pre-marriage,
But that shows that guy knew the potential of it going left, based on the atmosphere. He's like, hey, let me get out in front of this because I know how this can play out. Glenn, have you had any experiences like that?
It's sad to say, but you kind of have to prepare for that. And I've been in a few situations where it was a little sticky like that.
Yeah.
And you have to quickly say, I'm paying for her. And like you said, maybe the birthday girl, and that's it. Yeah. And it's sad because we're adults. And, if you come out to a dinner, you really didn't accept the invitation to the dinner thinking, oh, there might be a man there that I could stick the bill with. Let me go and order the lobster. I'll do that. So you would think that adult people would behave in a certain way. And I try to hang with that circle of people.
Absolutely.
All of y'all, we go out, we split the bill with the exception of Mel, but we don't invite him.
Right.
So that's how we fix that. But most of the time.
And along that same lines, much like you said, I'm not going to do, well, first of all, I'm not going to be, bullied into paying all of the ladies' bill because I'm the man. That's not just not how I'm designed. But also I don't do much of the big group dinner thing just because it can go so left, especially if you're at dinner with big drinkers and so here it is, you eat light, maybe you're health conscious, so your diet is structured by that, and you're not a big drinker, and then you got somebody that had 6 old fashions, and and then they want to split the bill equally. I don't really dig that. So I have to really trust the people that I'm going with if I do the group thing like that, because I've just seen it go left so many times. So if I accept an invitation to go to a group dinner with you, know that you are somebody, because I don't usually do that.
But isn't there an underlying message here, and not to be a troublemaker? So I'm just going to throw it out there.
Oh, but that suggests you're about to be a troublemaker.
Yeah. Why is there an expectation that men should do that? And also, I've run into this because of wine crawling. We do a lot of things, so I invite women. And one time I invited someone, she's a DDS, so she makes nice money. And she goes, well, I'm not used to paying for things, because I had invited her to wine crawl, and she's like, I'm not used to paying. I'm like, well, I'm not used to paying for people either.
Right.
So that's a
I'm not used to people with money not paying.
Right, I'm like, you probably make more than me.
Right.
So I'm like, I think you can afford it.
Isn't that an amazing phenomenon?
The expectation. Yeah. I mean, yes, she was attractive, but so is everybody else that comes to wine crawl. So I don't have to worry about that. That wasn't it.
I think it's
and I never had to pay to look at a woman. I don't know about you guys. It was I don't know that I'm like, hey, I want to see you. That's going to cost you $150, Glenn. That's not the conversations I have with women.
I actually have a friend who took his girlfriend out to dinner for her birthday. And he might not have taken them out, but they were all getting together, and he was the only guy there. And the girlfriend actually cursed him out in front of the other ladies because he did not volunteer to pick up all of their tabs.
How many of them was it?
It was like 6 of them.
Oh yeah, ain't no way.
That was
I mean, that's
ain't no way.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I like I told you, what I've done is pre-planned. If I'm invited.
Did you say pre-pray?
Pre-pray.
He pre-prayed.
So I didn't have to worry about those types of things.
I want you to make sure this bill is not out of hand and that everybody pays what they are supposed to.
He's silly, man.
But I mean, when we look at it though, and we look at what social norms have become, in a lot of situations, men are expected to do things because women say this is what a traditional man would do, but a woman doesn't want to serve a traditional role. So it's interesting how we can say, well, a man should do this, a man should do that. And as soon as we say, if that's the case, what does the woman do in return? And there are no expectations.
I once heard someone say, women want tradition from men while not offering tradition to men.
Well, it's selectively traditional. You're a traditional woman when it comes to me paying, but then you're a modern woman when it comes to whatever I want.
Absolutely.
No, I don't do that. I'm modern.
What men do is something I'm not done with. So I want to pick that up on a different frequency when we come back. Live from the Cave of Morning Roast. We'll be right back.
Season 2, y'all.
That's right.
I'm done. I got us in trouble, so I'm done with it today. No more questions.
Imagine your own private wine tour. That's Wine Crawl, providing you an experience that's second to none. Now in over 20 cities, Wine Crawl is great for the novice and experienced wine lover. And we mix in food and spirits tours, and you have your answer for what's new and exciting in your city. Find out about our next adventure. Visit us at www.winecrawl.wine.
Join us, Inde TV, where you will see the talk shows, movies, drama, action, and comedy. Be the first and see it first. Sign up now for free at Inde TV.
Consumer disputes happen a lot, but are they worth the cost of a lawyer? They can be, with Legal Shield.
Is the appliance guy giving you the runaround? Call Legal Shield. Feeling fooled by a dealership's fine print? Call Legal Shield. Retailer refusing a refund? Call Legal Shield.
For less than $1 a day, Legal Shield gives you access to legal help on things from contracts to wills. It's easy and affordable. Call Legal Shield today.
Welcome to the INDE Network, your one-stop shop for all your production needs. You now have a venue space, You now have a video and photo editing suite. You now have a music studio. You now have a meeting room and a screening room. Get to INDE now. Independent Network, where real indies can be independent.
Some things just go together. Wine and cheese, flowers in springtime, and yes, books and bottles. We pair your favorite author with your favorite drink. Your host of Books and Bottles, Benita Johnson.
There's lemonade, and then there's Chloe's. Indulge in the taste of nature's finest. Crafted with passion and bursting with unique, refreshing flavors. Every sip is a journey, a dance of zesty delight. Embrace moments of pure joy and connection. Experience the extraordinary. Chloe's, where lemons give you life.
Hey everybody, we're back live from the Cave of the Morning Roast, me and the fellas. I saw a clip recently. Iyanla Van Zandt was speaking, and she said that we are now in a time where men, specifically men of color, have been reduced to what they do for you. That has become the value of the black man, if I can be so bold. So in the vein of what we were just talking about, in terms of the check and picking that up, she says that not only have black men become defined by what they do for you, the you typically being women, but black men have also started to measure themselves by that, because that is where they find their value. I'd like to know what your thoughts are on that. Mel, I don't usually start with you, Big Daddy, but I'm gonna start with you.
That's a tough one. Mm-hmm. I think that men often let what we do become who we are overall. So if I had to, in a situation where I'm asked to identify myself, who are you? Who is Mel Roberson? I would say a father, a husband. I would start listing off these things. That's what I do. But if you are what you do, then when you don't, you're not. So it's very dangerous to only be what you do. You have to have some things that you identify with that aren't attached to a career or a particular role. While those can be important, that can't be the completion of who you are, if that makes sense.
It does. And in that though, how much of that do you think is a response to what the expectation of you is?
A lot of it.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of it, especially in relationships.
Yeah.
Because the conversation is always, what do you bring to the table?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And fortunately, I own the company that makes the tables, so that's what I bring.
I'm the table maker.
I'm the table maker.
Right. Robert, what are your thoughts on that?
Do you make tables, Robert?
No,
I do not make tables,
and he does not wait tables.
I don't wait tables, but I think that it's natural for us to go and talk about, because we are defined, as Mel talked about, by our economic status. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I find myself, depending on the room that I'm in, I'm talking about what I do at the Hazard Group, or, the problems that I solve and things like that, as opposed to being the lover of life, right?
And so how does that translate to your relationships when it comes to dating? Do you find yourself defined by the women that you date, by what you do for them, or what you're willing to do for them, and what you speak about that you're capable of doing for them?
At one time, I probably did feel that way, that I had to define myself by my earnings so that I could be validated. But where I'm at today, I don't care. So I am who I am. So I don't, the money piece of it doesn't, the car I drive, the house I live in or don't live in anymore. none of that is really important.
Right. I have a friend that wanted to meet a lady friend of mine at one time. And I thought it was interesting that in asking me about her status, he wanted me to be sure to tell her that he was a provider, which I only heard, you're insecure about whatever else it is that she might need. Well, you'd have to know the brother to understand, because I knew him. I was like, you're deficient in these other areas. And so you're, which is probably natural, you push with where you're strong at. But
yeah, absolutely.
But I also think that is part of the phenomenon that finds us defined by what we do. The men that have nothing but what they can do for you as a value. And so women that are looking for that, they gravitate toward that, and then they start to lessen their respect of anything else that you can do.
But we've all been sold that men are the protectors, the providers.
Mm-hmm.
That was the whole, why someone would want to marry us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or date us for that.
Even from a physiological makeup, though, I think that's true to a degree.
It's true, but what I find is that's not the only thing women need. And so when you walk into that space and that's all you can do is provide, but you can't feed them emotionally, you can't feed them romantically, you can't do all the intangible things that the lady needs. It's a very big empty space for her.
I'll probably never say this again, but Glenn, what do you think?
I was gonna drink and let you all finish this, but since you asked, Mel. No, I think part of the big problem, and there's many great things about social media, but one of the things that it has done to society has made us very superficial. So now you look at my profile and you see what I own, what I do, and then you attach a value to that.
And sometimes it's just what I want you to think I own.
Yeah,
And what
a lot of times it's somebody acting like they own.
Y'all ain't seen my Bugatti I just got? I just got a Bugatti.
I know. AI's an amazing. You did. You did. At least you ain't called a Bugatti.
Get if you really had one, you would know.
You would actually know how to pronounce it now. But I mean, we attach a value now based on what we see socially, which is wrong, number one. But also, it takes away that point of getting to know somebody.
Yeah.
Nobody asks now who you are. It's what you do.
They want to know who you are. They find you on social media.
So let me throw this in the conversation though, right? So to a certain degree or extent, I believe that if you don't get the protector provider conversation out of the way, then it's hard to focus on the other things, because it's hard to focus on how much he loves you if y'all don't have a stable place to live.
Well, if that is that paramount for her.
Yeah.
It's not always that paramount for some women, because they have that ability.
But women want to feel safe, and it's not a place to stay. Women want a man that they can feel safe with.
Yeah.
Right.
So
one of the ultimate compliments anybody ever told me is that I feel safe with you.
Yeah.
That meant a lot to me, because it went beyond what I was providing.
Actually, was talking about the fact that you had reminded her to put her seatbelt on. That was all that. That was all that.
And he got his concealed carry license.
Yeah, he just made a whole lot more out of that than it was.
We enjoyed the show, and it's so bad we're going to end after one episode in the second season. But say goodbye to these guys. Next week's show, I'll be here. I don't know about the rest of them.
We're producers too.
But it's time for a break now, and I'm going to take us to break. I'm going to take over the show. Let me just start practicing. So keep it right there. We'll be right back with the next segment. This is Live from the Cave, the Morning Roast.
Imagine your own private wine tour. That's Wine Crawl, providing you an experience that's second to none. Now in over 20 cities, Wine Crawl is great for the novice and experienced wine lover. And we mix in food and spirits tours, and you have your answer for what's new and exciting in your city. Find out about our next adventure. Visit us at www.winecrawl.wine.
Join us, Indie TV, where you will see the talk shows, movies, drama, action, and comedy. Be the first and see it first. Sign up now for free at Indie TV.
Consumer disputes happen a lot, but are they worth the cost of a lawyer? They can be with Legal Shield.
Is the appliance guy giving you the runaround? Call Legal Shield. Feeling fooled by a dealership's fine print? Call Legal Shield. Retailer refusing a refund? Call Legal Shield.
For less than $1 a day, Legal Shield gives you access to legal help on things from contracts to wills. It's easy and affordable. Call Legal Shield today.
Hey, we're back. It's live from the cave, morning roast, to meet with the fellas. And Mel Roberson, the total gent.
He said that like he didn't know it was going to be his turn.
What?
That's you.
What I do? It's early.
You know that's what we call you, Mel Roberson. That's your name. Hey man, what's on your mind, brother?
Oh, besides us having an amazing start to season 2.
Yes, absolutely.
What's on my mind is, do people really feel that they can find love beyond 40? My wife and I.
Funny you should ask that.
There
was a book I heard that was written
about
that.
Oh my God. Wow. Oh my God. So my wife and I wrote this book called Love Beyond 40. And one of the reasons we did it is because there's so many people that have said how inspiring we are and how they have hope again to really find, not necessarily marriage, everybody doesn't want to be married, but find their person. And so when we wrote the book, and we've only been married for almost 2 years now, so I don't feel I'm qualified to write about having a successful marriage. I've only been married 2 years. However, we did do a lot of writing about the work that it takes in order to prepare yourself for an amazing long-term relationship and what goes into that. So Love Beyond 40 is the name of the book, lovebeyond40.com. But really what's on my mind is, what do people think is really necessary to have a long-term lasting relationship? And how many times do they look outward to the other person instead of looking inward, saying, did I do the work? Am I ready? Do I really deserve what I desire? You know, you eat McDonald's and fast food every day and you 500 pounds, but you're like, I want a man that's in the gym that got a 6-pack to make 6 figures. It's like, no, like let's have some realistic expectations. So that's what's on my mind. Are people willing to do the work necessary to get the relationship that they say they really want?
It's interesting that you say that, because on the podcast, I've mentioned before that I personally believe that people will search the world over for the one person that is willing to love them broken before they will take the time to fix themselves and then watch the world fight to be the right person for them. You know, we are so unwilling to, that's why people don't like therapy, because they don't want anyone to tell them where they're doing it wrong, where they're getting it wrong, where you need to be fixed, where your thinking needs to be tweaked. We're so fearful and frail when it comes to the revelation of our own imperfections. And I believe, like you're suggesting, it starts with you making yourself the most lovable you can make yourself. You know, you're not, you want to look inward, not outward, like you said, you know, and I also think there's a contentment with knowing that you're doing the work on yourself, whether you find that person or not. If you're bettering yourself, then there's got to be a contentment that lives in you that lets you know you're better than you were the day before.
But you know, I don't disagree with you 2% of the time. 98% of the time I do. This is one of those 98, because I think part of it is who you surround yourself with. You surround yourself with positive people that are doing that and that are finding love and that are bettering themselves, that are doing things to better themselves. And if you're not, if your amen corner, there's a bunch of people that go to McDonald's and weigh 500 pounds and y'all meet at McDonald's every day and get the new special, you're going to be at McDonald's. You're going to get a McDonald's relationship, you know, versus a Gibson's relationship, or, you know, you choose your steakhouse. But I
don't eat steak, but I get the
you know what I mean. Yeah. And I think it's wonderful that you're teaching people, when I get to my 40s, I'm going to read your book. Oh, God. You and Mo. I love it when older people.
I think that in conjunction with that, people need to be encouraged to do it. It's about confidence, right? To get around people, because we can all talk about being around, millionaires, but if you don't know any millionaires, how are you going to be around?
So you mean like the boss chick?
Like the boss
isn't really a boss?
Well, she might think she's a boss in
y'all are way off.
The millionaire people that say they're millionaires on Facebook, they're not lying, Robert. No.
Well, we ask for receipts nowadays.
But you know what? I'll admit this: things are so bad in the dating landscape that even last night I was out with some.
Tell
friends.
us how bad.
How bad, Sean?
I was out with some friends and we were having some drinks and something to eat, and the lady of my buddy mentioned a girlfriend of hers that they had, unbeknownst to me, invited out with the intention of meeting me.
Okay.
But something happened and she wasn't able to. First of all, I don't like being blindsided anyway, so that I would have been uncomfortable anyway. But I was actually
that man that always talks on that show. I'm not beating them. That's what happened. They didn't want to tell you.
It actually made me anxious. Just the idea of it, I was like,
the idea of meeting somebody.
It just made me anxious, man. And I know we're almost out of time, but I thought that was an interesting response from me. I sat there and went, wow, why did that freak you out so much? Like I was like,
that's almost like a teaser for the rest of the season. Stay tuned.
My dating life will not be. My dating life will not be at the center. Let's be clear. My dating life will not be at the center.
Gentlemen, all in favor of Sean's dating life being at the center.
And I raise your hand. And I think that is the perfect way to end this show by me saying, no, that is not going to happen. Hey, we'll see y'all next week. It's been Live from the Cave, the morning roast. Thank y'all for checking us out.
Welcome to season 2, baby.
Yes, sir.